to the barrier between you and others. What you deeply want is to be friends with everyone, right? What most people, unless you have a personality disorder, what you deeply want is to be loved and to be cared for, and for people to, walk into danger to help you when you fall on hard times. And you want to be able to do that for other people. This is what a fully developed human being will gravitate toward, and will create these barriers, often not because this is the reality, that we are truly separated from these people, that we are truly not welcome, but it's a projection of the barriers that we've erected inside of our own mind because of this public-private divide that has infested our own brain. So what does that look like? So what happens is there's this zone that we don't feel safe seeing because we've been accruing, because of shame, right? We've been accruing this bucket of things that we don't feel safe with anybody seeing. And we'll tell ourselves, oh, it's because I'm smoking cigarettes and people say it's bad for you, but I don't care. Screw them. I'll do what I want, right? So we'll often do bad things so that we think that what we're doing is being rebellious, when really we're trying to hide large swaths of our psyche from the world, because we believe deep down that other people would judge us and reject us forever. So we're rejecting them first to prevent that eventuality. Either way, no matter how you slice it, we're erecting and deepening this border between the part of our psyche that we feel comfortable with and the part that we feel deeply uncomfortable with. And many people find themselves in this situation, and it is crippling because you're carrying around such a weight of stuff going on in your brain that has nothing to do with solving the problems that you're running into in your daily life. It has nothing to do with acquiring resources. It has nothing to do with giving or receiving love. It has nothing to do with nourishing your body. It has nothing to do with rest. It actively takes away from rest. Everything that's going on here that's locked away is active. As I mentioned before, we have a lot of things going on, right? Shame is busy. Shame burns calories. Shame is a full-time job because you are having to overwork to keep yourself safe. Why? Because you believe that due to the very nature of what you know about yourself, that you are in danger from others. But really, this divide is the internalized fear of others. And this is what is so paralyzing. So shame is the internalized fear of the judgment of others. We see this as an entity of otherness and therefore danger, but it exists in our mind and we can't get rid of it. And the more we try to control it, the more we try to just keep it private so it can't be seen, the more we restrict our own awareness from it, the more we're just like a child being like, it's not there anymore, I don't see it. Which means that this increasingly powerful factor in our lives that's going to affect our decision making, that's going to affect how well we care for ourselves, the decisions we make, the jobs we pick, the partners we pick, it's going to be less and less seen and more destructive. Less and less seen and have more and more impact on our daily lives. And we are going to resent that. We are going to continue to push against it. And we are going to end up in an inner war that we can never win. Our culture does not help in a lot of ways because our culture teaches that there's a good part of you and a bad part of you, and you have to help the good part defeat the bad part. This keeps us in this inner divide. It keeps us recreating the barrier between our shame and the parts of ourselves that are free from shame, because we look at the parts that are internalized fear of others as our internal badness, but that's not what it is. Shame is not about your goodness or your badness. It's about your fear of the interpretations of others of your goodness or badness. It is not actually about your self-worth. It's about the interpretations of others and the power that those interpretations could have over your life. It's not about you. It's about fear of other people. This is why awareness is the antidote to shame, not vulnerability. Vulnerability just changes the context, the outer context, what other people see versus what you see. Awareness allows us to break down this fundamental issue where we are perceiving a fear of others as a piece of the self that we are then fearing. You are afraid of yourself, but guess what? It's not you. It's a fear. It's not you. Your fear is not you. And what's more, what you're afraid of is also not you. So awareness lets us see, period. It allows us to be free inside of our own minds. It allows us to see the judgment of others, oftentimes in its proper context. It allows us to see the judgment of other people that's going on now and say, okay, Karen is judging me at work. And why is that? Well, Karen is kind of miserable and it really has nothing to do with me, you know? And if we're able to be free from shame, eventually we can allow other people to dislike us, just see it and accept it. And that's it. We can truly accept it and move on. Just like if it's raining outside, maybe I don't prefer that, but I'm not going to spend any energy fighting it. I can truly accept it. And this allows a lot more peace and allows us to spend a lot less energy trying to control things in the outside world. Awareness allows us to see not just the judgment of others, but our fear of the judgment of others, which is very different from the judgment of others, right? One is the interpretations of other people. One is our perception of the interpretations of other people. We're guessing at guesses, right? We're taking copies of copies of copies. And so what we're often afraid of is not true. And the fear is therefore wildly overblown and oftentimes entirely invalid. And awareness lets us see that at the core of our self-hatred is really a fear of others. It's not about us. It's about the fear of what others could do to us, oftentimes merely based on what those people see in us. Do you get how this is like a funhouse effect? This is why people get so stuck, because shame is like a funhouse, mirror maze where everywhere you go, it always ends up back about you being a piece of shit. And awareness will allow you to kind of climb up out of the maze and go, oh, I don't have to do this maze thing. I can just hop out. That's ultimately what awareness allows for. And awareness will allow you to see the reality of what people are thinking, what you can and can't know, and how it can and can't affect you. If something really doesn't matter, awareness is going to be how you're going to go from freaking out about it to not freaked out about it. If I'm concerned what somebody thinks, somebody who I haven't seen in 14 years, but I'm still mad at them for something they did 14 years ago, awareness is going to allow me to see that, listen, what that person thinks about me, if they know that what they did was super wrong, or if they're still deluding themselves into thinking that I was the bad person, it's a act of awareness or a process of awareness that's going to allow me to realize like that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks about what happened 14 years ago.